What's up, guys? Today I had a complete change of plans with the topic that I was going to discuss. The topic that I was going to discuss was about kids who are born outside of marriage, like illegitimate children. I was looking up the proper term for it, like for the video title, but then I ended up clicking on some article and then it made me sink down a deep hole once again because I forgot that something that I find intriguing is this discussion of how I don't even know who says it the most, if guys say it about themselves or if women say it about guys, but it is said that women are not interested in a guy who is broke, that your potential to find a mate as a guy is greatly reduced if you don't have a lot of money or if you don't have a steady income. Or, say, if you find yourself a woman who makes more than you, then she's going to be turned off by that. And, well, here I am going to express my opinion, and it may be an unpopular one, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be my opinion. So here I go. Do I think that a man is less desirable for me if his earnings are limited? The answer to that is fucking no. Because a man is a man no matter what. And I like to think things critically. So the way I'll go about this is explain to me or explain to y'all why I just don't care. So, in my experience dating, I've dated three guys in my life. And the first one, I was a teenager, so of course he wasn't going to have any money, but I still found myself attracted to him because all it took for me to be attracted to him is for him to be a guy. And then the second boyfriend I had, he had some kind of a job where he would go with his stepdad or something and paint houses, and his income was not wow incredible, but even if he wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have cared. And my current boyfriend works in the same building that I work at, and he makes a few bucks more than I do. But even before that, I noticed him and felt attracted to him because of his personality and how much fun I had anytime we would hang out. And the similarities that all of my boyfriends have had is that I never ever knew of their financial status unless in the case of my first boyfriend it was obvious, and in the case of, let's say, my current one, it just came up. So I guess because we live, or sorry, my boyfriend and I work in the same building, it's easy for me to just piece together what kind of an income he can have based on his position. But guess what? I just cannot go about life looking for a mate and be like, how do I get the information out of him? How do I get to know how much money he has? And you know why that is? Because I have a job to get the shit that I want. I have a job so that I can do the things that I want, with or without a man. I also work to maintain myself, and I have done that without a man. I have never lived with any of my boyfriends. None of my boyfriends ever pay my bills. The only time they have helped me financially is when something unforeseen happened, and I was like, my dearest, would you please cover my $30 electricity bill? And as soon as I get paid, I'll give it back to you. You can count on this day at 12:01 p.m. to see your money back. And guess what? Every time I have needed help, I have kept my word and gave my boyfriends their money back. And the other day, something as stupid as me forgetting my debit card in my car, my boyfriend ended up buying coconut milk for me. And he said, I'll get it for you. And I'm like, you don't have to do that, but thanks a lot because I really need it. And I just feel dumb that I didn't have the money with me. But he helped me because he wanted to. It's not because I was like, can you buy the milk for me? Because I forgot my money. And then say that he does buy it for me because I beg him. and then I don't give him his money back. I'm sure he wouldn't care that I don't pay him back, but I don't want to be that person. I don't want to just mooch of him, you know? So I just cannot be part of the trend of no, a man's value is totally determined by how much money he makes. Because if it were, I don't want for someone to judge me to determine whether to date me or not based on the money that I have. And I know that as a girl, probably in the society that I live in, that's not common. Like the guy is not looking for a girl who makes more than him because, in society, the man has to have the power, the man has to be the main breadwinner. Hey, Ollie, and all that. I just cannot conceive that. So if I don't want to be judged that way, I'm not going to be the one to judge someone in that manner. So that's a part of social standards that I just cannot roll with. I cannot adopt that for myself. I cannot be someone who first notices someone's pockets, or if I don't know immediately what kind of money you have, I cannot be someone who dedicates on every single date to try to find out how much money you have, because I have a job and I work to maintain myself with or without a man. So, because of that, I can sit here and say that no, I don't care how much a man makes. What I do care about a man is that he is responsible. If you're not making money, why are you not making money? If you're unemployed, why are you unemployed? What are you doing to better your situation? You know, um, and then if a guy happens to be making less than myself, you know, do you care about making your situation better for you? Not for me, for you. Do you want to have a better financial situation? In that case, what I would do is, all right, I know that you have your financial goals. How can we get you there? But I'm not going to be a woman who is looking at my man and just using a magnifying glass on him and be like, you're a man, you're supposed to be building, you're supposed to be giving me, you're supposed to be taking care of me, da 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 da. I cannot be that way. I like to be self sufficient. I like to know that I, by myself, don't need to wait on a guy to come rescue me, to come save me, to come maintain me. Like, and maintain me. I just can't do that. I just cannot. So to me, it's crazy that there's people out there who have the nerve of not having a job and demand that a man give them stuff. Like, what are you doing to help yourself? So, anyways, let me see what you lovely guys are saying. Mike says he's the first, and Ali says, hey. There is a term for these people, they're called gold diggers, and there are also men who think having a lot of money entitles them to things. There's a lot of crap on both sides of that situation. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was getting ready to go over that. I don't understand how people can be so comfortable relying on someone else. Exactly. That is exactly how I don't want to be. Because it's like when you have the mentality of a gold digger, you can be super miserable. You can have the biggest douchebag in the world for a husband and boyfriend, and you will never want to free yourself of that situation. You're miserable as you can be, but you'll never give that up because you're comfortable. And I'm like, does your comfort really, is it really that worth it? Like, can you even say that you enjoy yourself being tied to someone who has a lot of money? What about having a lot of money makes you happy? Is it the shopping? Is it the plastic surgeries? Is it the unlimited makeup supply? Like, how does marrying a guy who has a lot of money and you don't do anything to like leave your mark in society positively? How does that make you proud? And if you end up with a man who has a lot of money and, like you said, Ollie, he behaves in an entitled fashion and you're completely miserable, It's like, how can you sit there and be like, my man is mean to me and I'm miserable in my relationship and oh my god, I'm the victim here, my man abuses me and this and that. I cannot sympathize with you. I cannot see you as a victim because you brought this on yourself. You put your values in the wrong spot. You valued someone who already has their life together. For me, personally, it's more impressive to be with a guy who doesn't have his life together yet financially, but he has his goals for himself to be in a good spot in life. But then I stand by my man and see him fulfill his goals. To me, that is way more valuable than someone who's already established. I don't find that exciting in any way. And then, how do I know that someone established is going to be able to handle a failure? Like, say that my man runs some kind of a business and then the business for some reason just dies because business is unpredictable. You can be perfectly prosperous right now, but something can happen and all of that goes down the drain. So how are you going to be handling your man's like crisis, and how is your man going to handle that crisis? Like, how many folks have not freaking taken their own life because they're like, I cannot handle the fact that my social status changed in such an embarrassing fashion. You see what I mean? So like I said, if I find a guy who is either my social status or worse than me, it's like, okay, I'm going to judge you on what's making you be in that tight situation. I'm not going to judge you about how you're going to please me or how you're going to help me get to a good spot, quickly. No, I'm going to be like, okay, if you have a financial crisis, what got you in that situation? How can I help you? How can I help you? Because I don't like to be the person who does things for people. I want for people to help themselves. Um, but because sometimes unforeseen stuff happens. Maybe he had an accident and he was out of commission for a long time. So I'm like, okay, let's make a plan for you. Let's get your finances together. There are social services that you can go to help people like you to get back on your feet, etc., etc. Have you applied? All right, if I see a man who is struggling, who is helping himself out of the hole, you better believe that I'm going to be there for him and help him. But if it's a guy who is poor because he is kind of lazy, then sorry, but I do not need to be bringing problems to my life because I personally, independently, like Zam by herself, she is trying to better her situation. I cannot get together with someone who's going to make my situation worse. So, yeah, you guys, honestly, that's it. That's my opinion. I really think that it is very, very disgusting in a sense to be judging someone by how much money they have, because the fact that they have a lot of money doesn't make them successful in my eyes. Like, first of all, how did you get your money? Did you inherit it? If you inherited it, that's not impressive for me because it tells me that you did not create something. This is something that was handed down to you. So how can someone who inherited something possibly be a responsible, reliable person? See what I mean? So, like I said, every time I'm dating someone, I'm like, I'm not kidding you. If you're interested, I'm a person who dies with you, all right? So, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm always there. Like, my boyfriend sometimes says, I'm on a money saving plan. And I'm like, okay, have you seen this one store? Everything that you eat, they have it for on sale. Or stuff like that. I like to give him tips or hints on how to help him accomplish his goal, you know? So I just cannot really, I cannot conceive that judging someone by how much money they have. And I wouldn't like for me to be on the opposite side of the coin, like let's say that I happen to be the guy and I'm being judged on my income. Like sometimes we cannot help our situations, and our situations tend to take time for the improvement to be perceived. See what I mean? So, anyways, let me catch up with. what you guys are saying because I just don't know how to stop talking. Third, as for paying people back, obviously, I'm happy to cover people if I need to. And I would like to think others would do the same, but I hate situations of owed money. It just feels really awkward. Exactly. I feel that way. It's like, I know that I only owe you like 30 cents for my water bottle, but I will give it back to you because I like for you to see me as someone who I have a situation, but you can support me and you can count on me not abusing that. I would love for you to be like, oh yeah, I remember that time that I loaned something to the girl and she gave it back. So yeah, I'm very encouraged. And I have an incentive as to why I should help her. And the good thing about me is that usually, if my situation allows it, when I pay someone back, I give them a few extra bucks as to say thank you. It's like an interest, what banks and businesses don't like to do for you. So, so yeah, I think that's what makes people's relationships just stronger. This reminds me of my ex. She had too much baggage and worked for years and had nothing to show for it but clothes to show off. I don't even like being owed money. I end up just not even asking for it back sometimes. To you, maybe not, but most women get turned on by the weight of a man's wallet. I'm single and I talk to women often, and the questions they always ask is, where do you work and what do you do? I never ask that question to a woman. Oh my God, thanks for mentioning that because I am the same way. The only reason I know what my boyfriend does is, of course, because he told me. And my boyfriend before him, the only reason I knew he worked with his stepdad painting was because he shared that information. I never asked. And I guess that for me, because I have very little experience dating and I'm also super young, maybe it's kind of hard for me to just supply examples as to how I can prove that I don't ask that question. But my current boyfriend, the only time I know about his finances is when he shares that information. Sometimes he says, "Ooh, I'm a little short this week," or "Wow, I'm really tight until next paycheck," or something, something. But you know, if I know anything about his finances, it's because he tells me. And if he knows anything about my finances, it's because I tell him. And I think it's good to tell him because sometimes stuff happens and I'm like, look, I'm going through this situation. This is my plan to fix it. It is possible that I may request your help. You can help if you want to, but do not feel obliged to because if you can't help, I will find the help or I will get myself out of this hole, no matter what. Um, but of course, I feel like he may feel like he always has to help me because it's like no one wants to hear that the person you're dating is not going to help you. And I'm like, please never put yourself in a rough situation. If this is my problem, then it is up to me to fix it. I just resort to you and recur to you because you are a close person to me and I can immediately count on you, sort of. But if you're ever in a situation where you just cannot comfortably help me, then don't worry about it. I will not hold it against you. It will not make you love you any less. Life happens, and you also happen to be in a tight spot with me, but separately. So I'm not going to hold that against him. People have a life. So, you can't always be someone's rescue. Let's see. Some people get sick of helping. I know I did. She hates me now and looking for the next target. Women is targeting a small percentage of the population. I love your vlogs. You are a very impressive young woman. Thanks, Michael. No security, no security in money, as a matter of fact. Even if you did make a lot of money, one should still be humble. I always leave women because they really think I'm about to keep forking out money. Narcissists don't do stuff in return, only take, take, take. Men spend on average about 20,000 a lifetime on just dates. People could use that towards a down payment on a house, etc. My ex wouldn't respect. No, I'm not wasting money on you. She would dip out. And as of recently, my boyfriend and I have barely been doing anything fun, any activity. So I'm like, I understand that we're on a money saving plan, like on our separate sides, right? But we're getting kind of, this is getting kind of boring. Let's do something together. Let's draw something together, or let's film something together. Um, but just because we have not been going on dates or dropping money like that doesn't mean that he turns me off. It's like, no, this man is a man with responsibilities and he's being responsible at addressing them. I myself have my responsibilities that I have to respond to, and I am. So, therefore, I may not be experiencing the fun that we're accustomed to, but it doesn't mean that, you know, that our relationship has to suffer as a result. I'm always suggesting alternative things to do that don't cost a single dime. So we just need to get organized, get together, make the time, and just stick to it. But yeah, guys, I just live in a world where I feel like I don't know if I just don't know enough people because I'm young and until fairly recently did I start having a social life. But I find it depressing to know that I live in a world where people's values and priorities really, really, really conflict with mine because sometimes I feel like, wow, why am I so abnormal? Am I doing something wrong? Why am I not like everybody else? Why am I not smoking? Why am I not drinking? But then when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, because I want to be able to breathe with my own lungs when I hit 50. Or, I don't want to kill myself on a wreck because I think that I am going down the road and actually a tree is coming toward me because I veered off the road and I don't even know. I just cannot. I cannot make decisions just to seem cool in front of everybody. I like to make decisions because it's going to help me live better in life and just be better. Besides, as you mentioned, there are things you can do together that cost a little money. In fact, those things are things that you'll remember when you're older. Exactly. There's so many ways to create memories. And a lot of the best memories that I have with him did not involve us spending. So, anyways, guys, that is all that I have to say on this matter at the moment. Those who were present and commenting pretty much let me know that you agree and also supplied an explanation as to why you think that people are weird like this. But for the rest of you who may catch the stream when I'm offline, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think this is exaggerated, that really more women do not think like me? And because I am a woman and I am not dating another woman, then there's no way for me to find out that women, as a matter of fact, are not like that. They're not gold diggers, primarily. But like I said, unfortunately for me, I know of stories of women who get disappointed with their guys because of their spending habits. And I've had friends who shared to me the story of my boyfriend is spending too much money on this and that, whereas I don't have money for my haircut. And I'm like, you have a job. Why don't you pay it yourself? Why does he have to give it to you? How are you spending your money to where you cannot afford your haircut? How about if you do your own haircut? That's how I save myself $25 every so many months whenever I trim my hair. So I don't know. When it comes to situations, and you guys will probably hear me say this a lot, I only see the solution. I never see a problem. Like, the situation that's challenging is present, but I always, always, always see the solution. Not, my problem right now is, cannot afford a haircut, so I gotta be miserable over it. No. If you really need a haircut so bad, grab yourself a pair of scissors that are, designed for hair and try to do something to you. Help yourself. It's like if you're in the middle of the ocean and you're drowning, do not wait for someone to come to your rescue. You try to just pedal yourself out of the water however you can. Follow your instinct. Trust your instinct. But I feel like people just have very little faith. Just help yourself, okay? Just please try for me. No matter what it is, just try. Try. Let's see. What else did you say? The money minded are boring. If you need to drop money to impress people, you ain't much for company. Exactly, because I bet you that most people who just drop money like that on dates, it's like you want to control the atmosphere and control the experience, but you're not creating that memory. It's like, let's say that we go to a fancy restaurant. Their customer service may be outstanding, the food quality may be outstanding, but how about the thing that made this date happen, which is you and I wanting to spend time together and have fun? I cannot be focusing on my date if I'm distracted by the external factors, the setting, the customer service, the food. So, how about if we spend quality time with each other instead of quantity amounts of money? Like I said, my better, best, greatest, most remarkable experiences with people, particularly boyfriends, have been when we weren't spending anything. We were just going out and about. We observed something, made fun of it, laughed, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just a very low maintenance, simplistic person. So I like to also express a little bit of my background to you guys so that you know maybe why my thoughts are the way they are. Because some people are raised differently. Some people are raised with you're the girl, so you have to make sure that you settle for nothing down any less than dot dot dot. And I'm like, no, I'm not special like that. I'm just a person. I'm not I'm not better than anybody else. People want equal rights but also special rights, so we all agree people have control issues. You are becoming unique simply by referring to your boyfriend as you, man, or even as a man. Millennial women seem to find the concept of man as toxic. Glad to see it's not a bad word in your lexicon. Really? People don't use the word man like that anymore? Well, see, sometimes what I do have issues with that I hope that I don't come off as maybe possessive or something is I don't like to refer to my boyfriend as my man very often because I don't want for it to sound like he's my property. Um, but sometimes he does tell, like, if his phone rings and he's talking to his cousin or something, he's like, I'm with my girl right now. Um, but, it makes me feel awesome. But at the same time, I learned to let go of that notion because I really thought that saying that someone is my something was possessive. But I'm like, no, I call my brother because he is my brother. I call my man because he is the man in my life. See what I mean? So I like for him to feel like he has his place in my life and I acknowledge him everywhere I stand. So, yep, that's why I say it like that. Some people don't use the word man and hate everything remotely masculine. These are not people you need to concern yourself with. You're right, Ali. I have faith that the people who I get together with are good for me. And what's up? What's up? All right, guys. I'm going to end the stream now because I have a few things to take care of, and then the weather has been completely terrible. It stopped raining now, so I gotta run a few errands before the evening rolls in. But thanks so much for joining me. I thoroughly enjoyed um, discussing my opinion and just putting myself out there, and you guys submitting your responses and opinions and feelings, and you know it. Best to you. See you soon. Likewise. See you guys soon.